I'm Aaron.
I'm Steven.
I'm Austin.
I'm Hannah.
And this is
Real
Single.
This is real single.
All right, guys. So we just got another question. The full question is, what is purity, and is it important in singleness, and why? But let's just tackle that first part, which is what is purity.
What is purity? Purity is a mindset. I think that being pure with your thoughts and with your mindset and how you do things prepares you for a relationship.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I would say, because I'm a pretty simple person, I would just say it's following God's design, his original intent, his original design for us, for our sexual lives, as closely as possible.
Yeah, to biblical.
Yeah, for sure.
I think purity is close, in my head at least, and I could be wrong, but I think of it close to like holiness, in a sense of like, for a long time I thought purity was just virginity, right?
Yeah.
And then in college I realized like it's way more than that, because it's how you think about women, it's how you, from a man's perspective, right? How you think about women, how you see women, how you talk about women, you know, like even within your circle, right? I mean, like, because, so I played baseball in college, right? If you've been in a locker room, the talks that are about women, it's crazy, right? And so when you're trying to like be pure, and it can go outside of a locker room, just in your daily
settings.
Yeah,
I was in a corporate job one time, and like we went out to lunch, and I'm like, "Is this a locker room? Like, we're at a corporate lunch with coworkers, professionals." I'm like, I can't believe we're talking about this right now from someone else in the office.
And you know what? And it shocked me. I came from a household where I was like, I don't want to say I was sheltered, but like I feel like my parents were my example, you know, in pretty much everything in life. And so when I got outside of that, and then you get to middle school, not even high school, middle school, and nowadays elementary school, to where people are talking about sex and all this other stuff, and you know, you got 11-year-old kids and whatnot, they talking about it and joking around about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know, purity is so much more than just the act of sex or abstaining from the
It's
act
also
of sex.
just vocal. Like the
Yeah.
amount of foul language that comes out of people's mouths.
Yes.
I'm just like, OMG, shut your mouth.
Yes, and that's
because you're cursing yourself.
Yes.
Don't curse yourself.
And it's women too. It's like not just men. Like I say this working, like shoot. Like I know some ladies, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, like I hear nothing.
It's real.
Like, when they talk, because it's vulgar. I mean, I'm amazed because you guys just think it's the guys, but it's the women too. And seriously though, I'm I can't hang out with y'all and like they think that you're weird and stuff, and it's just like, to me, it's a part of like guarding your heart. Like purity to me, what I heard, it was like heart posture. You know, and like I know God knows my heart. He knows what I'm thinking about, because out of your heart flows the issues of life. So like whatever you let in, you know what I'm saying? I feel like that's, you know, why people may not be living a pure life. It's David, created me, Lord, a pure heart, you know? And so, and he was dealing with that sexual sin, you know, he was looking at that Sheba, you know?
I was,
you know?
He was just looking at her.
You're right about that. But he looked first, and then, so that's why it's like, you even got to be careful what you watch. Like certain shows I don't even watch, especially like American shows, because it's like first scene, I'm like, it's smut. I'm like, I can't watch it, because if I'm gonna walk that purity life, I can't watch, because like eventually it's gonna get in here, and I might act on those feelings, and I'm like, I can't do that. But it looks like a good show.
Well, I think the main thing and the main problem, I think the root of the problem right now is that like nowadays in dating, like that is the fantasy of everybody, right? Or I can't say everybody, but you know, when you're trying to be separate, right, and be pure and walk as a Christian in dating, the biggest challenge to me is outside of Christianity. Like if you're really trying to walk with God outside of that, the main focus of getting in a relationship is sex.
Yes.
Matter of fact, not even just getting in a relationship. It's a one night stand or it's whatever, like that's the end goal. You know what I mean? So like that's like the biggest challenge to me, because even in the dating world right now, like people, like the main thing they fantasize about when they have a girlfriend, or vice versa when you have a boyfriend, is sex. Like, bro, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Like, that's as deep as it's going, you know? Because, like, it's so much more than that. And obviously, we all been, you know, in some type of relationship. You know, it's so much more than that to maintain a good one, a healthy one, and to be in purity. So, I guess, to answer the second part, or to ask the second part, it's like, why is it so important in singleness? You know what I mean? Because we just answered, what is it, right? But, like, why is it so important?
Well, being holy and pure in a relationship is more beneficial because you're not bringing down that other person. Because in a relationship, you're striving to get married, so you're a partnership. But if you're falling and tripping, you're tempting this other person. And you're gonna be, this person is already on the right path, but you're tempted and you're gonna sway this person right off the table. But by the way, you have to continuously rethink, remind yourself, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be pure, not just for myself, but also for my partner.
Yeah, I've heard it said before, our decisions have ripple effects, big or small. And so, look, just to take it down, like, take it to a secular level, like, remove God and Christianity from the conversation. Like, our minds are powerful, and I've heard it said, our thoughts are things. And I mean, our words are powerful. And so, like you were saying, I mean, everything we do, I mean, it can hurt us, it can also benefit us, but I mean, you think about other people too. I mean, it can benefit people, it can also hurt other people too. So sometimes, like, things we don't realize that decisions we make, thoughts we have, this can literally, I mean, how crazy is that? How the thoughts we think can actually hurt other people in a way we didn't even think. So.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons it's so important for me is I think it just takes your heart further away from God. You know what I mean? Like, I think it just, like, it makes you distant, right? And I think that in itself is enough to, like, just be like, that's why I should abstain from it. I was reading something the other day when it was just talking about, like, how God is, like, in himself, he is holy, right? And he causes us to try and, you know, walk after him. And so if that's what we're trying to do as a Christian, then we should abstain from it, right? Anything apart from that is sin, right? And because of that, sin automatically, it makes us feel, and even though we know that God never leaves our side, it makes us feel more distant from God. So I think that from a Christianity perspective is why we should, but I think also when you look at a relationship, as soon as you get physical, I just feel like that jacks everything up. Because it's so much more that it takes to, you know, be in a successful relationship. Like, you need to know that person. And how can you know that person when every time y'all get in an argument, you know, y'all go to sex or whatever to make up. You ain't learn nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all just, you know, I think I was reading the other day, like, Paul said something like, what was it, useful lust? No, passionate lust. Abstain from passionate lust, right? I feel like that's all that is. You know what I mean? Like, it's just we're passionately just gratifying our flesh. You know, so.
And, like, I think, say, you know, we all desire to get married one day, but, like, how you are when you're single is more than likely how you're going to be when you're married. So, like, if you think that you know, oh, you know, once I marry them, then we can have sex, it's like, no, you're not pure in the single season. You think it's going to switch over when you're married. It's not, and it's going to be even worse because, like you guys said, like, what your thoughts are hurting, literally they are, because you've got someone that you decided to commit to, but yet you're living this unpure life, and now it's really affecting them even more so, I think, than when you were single. But I mean, we should be striving to live a pure life because that's what God's called us to, but it protects us. Like, there's protection in the purity. Because, like I said, so many issues that people deal with is because they didn't know about purity, or they did and they didn't caution. Think about David. When he said that first, it goes back to, like, him looking at Bathsheba. Well, that led to him sleeping with Bathsheba. She got pregnant, and the Lord ended up, you know, killing the baby, and like all these effects, and even his bloodline that led to a sin with his son, and like it was crazy, all because of it going back to him not living a pure life. And so I think it's like that ripple effect that you were talking about, like it just protects you and it protects your family, honestly, from a lot of stuff. Because if you can deal with walking in purity, then one day you have kids, you can teach them how to, or even people like around you. So yeah.
I mean, even the most successful marriages are both partners are going towards Jesus.
I think even on a deeper level, I mean, it's a real talk, so we gotta be real. Like, there also is another thing as, like, sextations, right? You have expectations of your wife/husband from previous partners that you have had that have nothing to do with them, which could cause unhappiness in your marriage, right? So the ripple effect that you're talking about, it's so deep because it's on, like, so many different levels. And God created sex. Sex is a beautiful thing, but it's supposed to be in the context of marriage. And so when you're doing that outside of it, it just creates, like, like you said, so many ripple effects that we don't even think about. And I guess it can kind of even go back to the question that we had earlier, which was why shouldn't we date younger? Is because we end up doing stupid stuff that ends up causing problems in marriage that we was nowhere in our mind at 16, nowhere in our mind at 17.
So that's all the baggage.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of the
And then
baggage
you
we're
gotta deal
talking
with it later
about.
on, and it's
Yeah.
like, because most people they're not prepared for this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I think, and I
You
don't
are.
mean, and I don't mean to talk too much. I just got so much going off in my head because you think of like people and how they were raised. Everybody was raised a little bit different, right? And so the people that are giving them advice is coming from all different types of places,
Yes.
right? I know friends that their older siblings were telling the younger siblings like, yo, sex is amazing, sex is this, sex is that. And sex is amazing, but like we said, it's in context.
Yeah.
So when you're dating somebody from a different background, you have to understand where they're coming from and where they think the value in the relationship is. And a lot of people nowadays, the value in the relationship is sex itself. You know, so like it's complicated.
And that's
But
when
like
they
you said,
fail.